Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks, and this might take a couple of videos to create this. Somebody's making a template, and they sent it to me and see if I saw anything wrong with it. I don't. I think it's perfect. But if you ever want to draw one yourself, I want to pretty much use every tool or a lot of tools inside of Corel. First of all, I need this shape. So I'm going to set my nudge distance, nudge that out of the way. I'm going to left click, and I'm going to right click. I'm going to make them into black. And then you just need to know a couple of measurements. And we're going to take the parallel dimension tool, and we're going to go from the center to the center is 0.28. Now I measured this a while ago and it's 0.29. I'm going to make everything 0.28 across and down. One, it'll make it a little bit more symmetrical, and two, I think it'll look better. So I'm going to go 0.28. I'm going to Control D and I'm going to make a duplicate of that. I'm going to nudge it down 4 times. Then they're 0.28 across, so I'm going to Control D and I'm just hitting the left arrow key. I need to make one more. Now there's several ways you can do this. I'm going to Control G and group it together. And if we just kind of look, they're almost identical. So that's good. Now we need to make one more measurement. And this is where it's a little bit tricky because you don't want to measure from here. You want to measure from there to there. And we get 9.48. So I'm going to change my nudge distance to 9.48. I'm going to Control D, I'm going to make a duplicate, I'm going to nudge it over. Let me get rid of these measurements. Now we can take, probably the easiest thing to do would be to go to Effects and Blend. And if we group these or select them both, we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more copies. So we'll hit 5, hit apply, and now we've done that perfectly. I mean, they're exactly spaced out apart. Now we need to find out how far apart these are. But in this scenario, instead of measuring from the center, we're going to measure from the edges. From that node to that node is 0.43. And we could actually use step and repeat on this. I told you I was going to use a lot of tools. And we're going to go up 0.43, 2 copies. And if you notice, I put the distance between the spaces 0.43, and that's why I measured from the outside. If I'd measured from the inside, it's not going to be the right amount. So I'm going to group these, Control G, and I'm actually going to move this one out of the way, and I'm going to go ahead and start our board. I'm going to hit P, and then I'm going to hit P, and we need to move them. You know, if we're going to do it kind of like the base or like the trial one, I need to move it 177 away from this end. So what we're going to do, we're going to group all this, Control G, which I think we already did. And then with the 2-point arrow, we don't want to stretch it. We're going to go right to that. Now, if you notice, it wasn't quite there, and for some reason, I must have moved it down. So let's hit P again on both of them. Yep, that's right. So I'm just going to nudge this time like 0.25 to get it a little closer. So I'm going to go outside the box and I'm just going to nudge these over. And then I'm going to reduce my nudge factor 0.01, zoom in here, grab that, and go right up to that line. Now I think, I can't remember how far that was, 1.77. We're going to set our nudge factor now with nothing selected, 1.77. Grab that and nudge it over. Whoop. and we're pretty far along. So I'm going to stop the video and start part 2 on how to do this part, which will probably be the most difficult one. So stay tuned for part 2. Hope that helped a little bit, and thank you for watching.